Hello, and welcome to the SAF Audiovisual Cast, where we, SAF, connect and share information from top university officials, faculty, and administration directly with SAF students and parents. Thanks for joining us. First, I'm your host, William, with SAF and IES in Chicago. We've got two guests here today from different parts of the world at the moment with us via Zoom, both from the University of Glasgow. Colette McGowan, International Recruitment Partnerships Manager, and Jian Li, Project Manager for East Asia, based in Beijing. So first, hello, both of you.
Hello. Good to meet you.
And let's start with Colette. Colette, can you introduce yourself a little for us?
Sure, yes. So I am based in Glasgow. I work at the University of Glasgow normally, and I have been there for 22 years, always in the study abroad and exchange area, albeit I have progressed through the ranks in that role. Latterly, I am now responsible for the partnerships for study abroad and exchange and our international partnerships.
Wonderful. So we'd love to hear a little bit more about your job. So, for example, maybe what do you do on a day-to-day basis?
So it varies. I am currently covering for a colleague who is on maternity leave in the role of in summer school manager. So as well as our international partnerships, I also look after the international summer school on a day-to-day basis. Unfortunately, this year, which was the year of this covering for me, we experienced the COVID-19 pandemic, and so we were unable to run our summer school. But ordinarily, at this point of the year, we would have with us around 200 international students participating in our summer schools from all over the world.
Wow, wonderful. Now, as I mentioned, we have two guests here today, and equally interesting background. Jian Li, you have actually studied at the University of Glasgow. Is that right?
Yes. Well, hello everyone. Very nice to meet you here. So my name is Jian Li, as William introduced. I did a master's degree with Glasgow. So yes, I graduated with the university and joined the university as a member of staff 5 years ago. So I currently work as the project manager of East Asia for the university. But unlike that, I actually work remotely in Beijing. So we have a small office and team based here.
Thanks for that. And actually, Colette, we'd love to hear a little bit more from you on your role. What do you enjoy most about working with students?
I really enjoy working with students from all over the world. I love to tell them about Glasgow, which is my home city. I love to tell them about the university, which is steeped in history. And I also really, really enjoy learning and hearing from them about their own cultures and their own experiences in their countries, at their universities, and also just knowing how they adapt when they come to study with us. So yeah, I have to say that's one of the most rewarding parts of my job is to work with students and just to see them develop and advance during their time studying with us.
Sure, an opportunity on both sides. You're helping to get the best out of them and having a good experience while doing so. Sounds
That's
wonderful.
Right. Yes.
Now we actually we're speaking to you. You're in the UK. We always notice it seems like the popularity of the UK is always very recognizable. Why do you think that is?
I think the UK is so popular. We are steeped in history. We have a very unique culture, I believe, different in different parts of the United Kingdom. So regardless of where you go, you will always find a different culture, a different type of people. And that history permeates absolutely everything. So that, I would say, is one of the big draws to our international visitors, particularly students. And I have to say as well, we have, and I am biased, but we do have an excellent education system, particularly in Scotland, which has been steeped in, or rather has developed its education system over many, many centuries, and it is one of the most advanced education systems from early ages.
So speaking of Scotland, you're in Glasgow. Did I say that right first? Glasgow?
Glasgow, that's correct, yes.
Okay, so a historic, beautiful place, but also kind of a modern and relatively large city in the UK, at least, I think.
It is.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the city of Glasgow?
Yeah, so Glasgow is, you're right, it's the largest city in Scotland. It may not be the capital city, that goes to Edinburgh. However, Glasgow is the largest city. We have just over 1 million people living in and around the city itself. It's a vibrant city, and it's a really, really popular destination for students. It is made up of 3 universities in the city itself. So every night during term time, there are student offers, and there are student events taking place across the city. It's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site for music, which has been really, really well deserved. There is all types of music offered in the city, from choirs, choral singing, right the way through to the modern day big pop groups that visit the city. So regardless of your interest, you're always destined to be able to find something in a music context every night of the week. The city itself it's modern, but we do have wonderful architecture, great examples of Victorian architecture right throughout the city. So you only need to walk down most of the streets in the city centre and you'll be able to experience the pleasures of the amazing Victorian architecture that around the city centre. But additionally, I would say that one of the strongest draws of Glasgow itself are the people, and we are renowned for being very friendly and very welcoming. We also have a very innate sense of being irreverent in all situations. We really don't take ourselves seriously. And one great example of that is a very famous statue in the city centre of the Duke of Wellington, and he permanently has a police cone sitting on his head. And whenever it's removed, somebody will always climb up the statue and replace it. And I get that has become symbolic of the city of Glasgow over the years.
Okay, wonderful. So let's talk about the university a little bit. As I understand, the university is considered an ancient university, founded by what as I understand, is a papal bull or papal bull, but something from the Catholic religion. And I'm going to try to do a little bit more of the introduction that I've found out, but then I'm going to pass it over to you guys. If I'm not mistaken, Einstein gave his first lecture on the theory of relativity at this university. And then you also have, as famous alumni, James Watt, Lord Kelvin of the Kelvin scale. So we've got Watt and Kelvin and nearly all the measurements. And then also I wrote this one down, but Livingston, I don't know if it was, I presume that the full name was Dr. Livingston, I presume.
Oh.
Colette, can you tell us a little bit more about the university and its history?
Yes, I can. To defer back to the description that you gave, the papal bull. So it was a document or an approval that came from the Pope to establish universities back in the day.
So not a cow.
Pardon?
Not a cow. Not an
Not
animal.
a cow. No, they didn't. No, they didn't send
Gotcha.
the cow across from Rome. They sent a courier by horseback to obtain the document from the Pope, which allowed the university to be established. And that was back in 1451. So that makes us, and I had to do my sums, 569 years old, which makes us the fourth oldest university in the English-speaking world.
Wonderful. Okay, so we've spoken a little bit about the campus and the history. Jian Li, maybe you can introduce some of the prominent majors or areas of study of the university.
Of course. Actually, Glasgow University is a very comprehensive university, so very large. So we do teach a lot of subjects that covers a variety range of areas, from arts to social sciences, science, engineering, languages, and we also have professional degrees including medicine, veterinary medicine, law, accounting and finance, etc. So basically the university teaches a lot of subjects, and many of our subjects are ranked very highly in the world and in the UK. If you look at our subjects, probably our students choose, the most of students will choose business programs, arts programs are also very popular as well, life science, and that's another very popular subject as well, computing science and engineering, etc. But in terms of ranking, 28 of our subjects are ranked top 10 in the UK from the Complete University Guide ranking, which is the most up-to-date one, and we have 8 subjects ranked top 1 in the UK, and the number of which is only after Oxford and Cambridge. So we're very proud how our subjects performed in the top 1 league table. Those subjects include, for example, education, accounting and finance, medicine. We were highly ranked for sports science, law as well. So and we teach very good professional degrees in dentistry and nursing.
Wonderful. Thanks for that. One of the things that we often get asked about is how students transition, how students adapt to the demands of a top university and also a new environment. Colette, can you tell us a little bit about some of the services available to assist students?
Yes, certainly. When a student comes to the University of Glasgow for a short period of study, for study abroad, they are looked after 100% by a small dedicated team of professionals who are the study abroad and exchange team. They work with the students from the moment they apply, helping them to select courses, to make sure that they are enrolled correctly, and then provide orientation when the student arrives. They will continue to work with the students throughout the semester or the full year, depending on how long the student is with us. And they will ensure that the student is choosing the correct classes, is staying on track to ensure that the courses they want to achieve credit in are going to be worthwhile and possible for them. In addition to that team, we also have our international student support team, who are dedicated professionals, primarily there to help students through the complex area of visas, extension of visas, any issues that they might have. But they also, in addition to that support, they also provide some other services and events for all international students, such as a lunch for dependents who come with international students. They provide craft workshops, some day trips out to different areas around Scotland. And so there's always a wealth of different events that they're putting on throughout the academic year. And finally, last but not least, we have our living support team, who are a large team of support assistants working for accommodation services, and they are based in the student accommodation, and they're there to support students on a 24-hour basis through the housing situation.
Wonderful answer. Oh, go on. Excuse me.
I was sorry. I actually apologise, because I have forgotten one of our key other support services, which we do find actually very, very helpful for our international students in adapting to the different system, and that is our Learning and Academic Development Service. They help students. They help all of our students, whether they be international or home-based students, by providing workshops on study skills, on essay writing, on examination preparation, but particularly they help our international student cohort by offering specific tailored classes or workshops for them, again to help with the different learning style that students will come across when they come to Glasgow. And we have found that, and we have heard from our international student cohort, that has been incredibly helpful to them to adapt and to quickly get into the learning habits and the new learning style that they're going to be requiring as they progress through their year with us.
Wonderful. So let's move a little bit towards the international impression that the University of Glasgow has. I guess it would be great for us to start with China. Jian Li, can you tell us about the university's connections to China?
Okay, so while talking about this topic, our connections actually with China come into a long way back. So we welcomed our very first students from China in 1885, so it's quite a long time ago. And currently, Glasgow is home to 3,500 Chinese students. We do have a very large Chinese population with us every year on campus. And we're very proud of that. Our students enjoy their study and experiences very much with us. We have built quite a lot of connections with our Chinese partners in China region. To start with, I think probably we can talk a little bit about the Confucius Center. So we run a Confucius Center with Nankai University based in Tianjin. But our Confucius Center are based in Glasgow, which is Nankai University. It is Nankai University that's based in Tianjin, which our students should know. But basically, the Confucius Center it was established with a long-term strategic role to establish and develop research links between the two universities, and it's been running very successfully and won many awards over the years in the UK.
We are going to participate in a SAF podcast tradition, which is to recommend some food for the students. So Colette, maybe you could start us off. If you could tell us one of your favorites or a recommendation for a place on or near campus for the students to check out.
Yes. So I have a couple of really great places for students to go and eat. One of my favourites, if they have a special treat, because it's not necessarily a cheap location or inexpensive, but one place is called a restaurant called the Bothy. Bothy is a word or a name of a small dwelling in the Highlands of Scotland, where when people go hill walking, they would stay in a very, very basic hut. And that's what a bothy is called. But this restaurant has taken that name. The waiters and waitresses wear kilts, so you will see them dressed in tartan. And they offer a very good selection of Scottish and other European type food. One item on the menu that students and anybody visiting Glasgow has to have, regardless of which restaurant, is obviously haggis. I can see Jian Li smiling because it is something that we definitely recommend for all of our visitors. Haggis is a delicacy, so it's made up of a special blend of meat and oats and herbs. And you can find it in other parts of the world, but it is a delicacy coming from Scotland. And the traditional way to eat haggis is to have it with potatoes and turnip, and in Scots language that's called neeps and tatties. So haggis, neeps and tatties is a delicacy and is a meal that I would strongly recommend trying.
Okay, that's gonna be a good one for me as well if I ever visit. Jian Li, over to you. Same question. We've already done haggis, so maybe that's the easy answer. Can you recommend another dish that students should try?
Yeah, I think Colette has mentioned and introduced very, very famous Scottish food, and those restaurants, I like them very much too. I think I would probably go to a different direction of food because I think Glasgow have that advantage because for international food, actually the city has so much to offer. We are looking for international-wise food or choices. What I would recommend, I think it would also be two restaurants. One is a Chinese restaurant, actually. I know it feels a little bit odd, but knowing our audience today is actually lovely Chinese students. So when you miss a home, actually Glasgow have quite a lot Chinese restaurants to offer. And one of my favorite places will be Sichuan House, which is located in Saki Hall Street. It's not very close to campus. You probably would need to walk for around 20 minutes to get to there. It's very close to city center. After trying so many Chinese restaurants in the city for so many years, I would definitely say that Sichuan House is my favorite. If you're looking for Sichuan food, but not just Sichuan food, they also offer some like kupo chicken or Beijing duck, which is very unique food from different cities of China. So when you miss home, it's a very good place to go.
We've gotten through a lot today. I just want to check if there's anything else you guys would like to share. Maybe we could start with Colette.
Yeah, I guess in terms of I'm just looking, in terms of support, I think we offer a really, really strong level of support for our students in the form of our study abroad and exchange team, and they really will work with the students who come through SAF from the moment that they start to think about coming to Glasgow and they submit an inquiry or an application form. It's important also, I think, to flag that the study abroad programme at Glasgow is incredibly flexible, and it does permit students to take courses around different subject areas of the university. So if a student hasn't taken a course or is interested in taking a course in something quite different to what they would normally do, we will try to make that happen. We also offer some unique courses for our study abroad students.
Wonderful. Jian Li, thanks for being here today. Anything else you'd like to share with us?
Well, not really. Probably just one thing very shortly for our students. And some advice from me as a previous international student to our all prospective students. I think it's very important to tell everyone and everyone know probably one small tip is to keep an open mind and to enjoy the most of experiences as much as you can. Because sometimes I find a lot of my peers that comes from China may not be aware of the fantastic support and facilities and actually the guidance and all kinds of help available from university staff, university services, and universities in general. I think that's very important that before you actually come to the UK, have a little bit of research done, so know what universities can offer you and what the country itself can offer you. I think if you have that knowledge pre-hand, you'll be actually be able to enjoy the experience as most of you can. So that'll be the last thing I want to mention as a international student experience.
Well, thanks so much for being here today, guys, and recording with us.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you.